By the end of this video, you will know how to implement 4 supports into your classroom that will not only support students with disabilities, but all students. You will also know how these supports are helpful. As educators, we know that students learn different things at different paces. Some students also require special education resources and aids that will better help to support how they learn in the classroom. These resources will help educators to provide individual materials that will help every student to be successful. The 4 supports we are discussing today are anchor charts, the Safe Place, assistive technology, and graphic organizers. Anchor charts are great tools for teachers and students. Anchor charts are made to support instruction and be a reference for students to look back at. Anchor charts should be made with your students and capture the most important ideas and strategies in the lesson. To create an anchor chart, you will need chart paper and some markers. Don't worry, you don't need to be an artist. You could trace or use some printouts. You also want to make sure they are colorful and rich. Using different colors and bullet points can help students distinguish the difference between strategies. Also, keep it simple and have pictures to complement the words. Too many words can be overwhelming and some students may struggle to read. Make sure the visuals included relate to the words and can help all students to understand the concept. Lastly, make sure you do some pre-planning before the lesson. Create a framework for what you want your anchor chart to be and have a title and headers for the main points.
Assistive technology or AT devices that are used to support students with learning disabilities to communicate and perform through the use of technology. Check out a few examples of AT supports that can be used easily by your students. The first example of an AT device is the Read and Write extension that can be downloaded on any Chromebook and/or mobile device. This tool has multiple functions. To name a few: speech to text, which allows students to speak their responses, which is then translated into a readable text. And then there's text to speech, which reads aloud any texts that are highlighted. The next example of an AT device is Word Prediction, which assists students with writing difficulties such as spelling after just simply enabling autocorrect settings on the device. The system will suggest words when a child types a few letters. Once selected, the word is then inserted into the writing. Take a look at how this student uses her AT device to assist her in writing a paragraph. Once downloaded, locate the Read and Write tool icon, which is a purple puzzle piece that will automatically activate when in Google Docs. To use speech to text, just click the headphone icon and speak. To use text to speech, simply highlight the text and press the play button. Consider having your student or students use headphones with a mouthpiece for a more clear interpretation of the response. Next up, graphic organizers. A graphic organizer is a supplementary tool that is used primarily to support the organization of an individual's thoughts while collecting and presenting information visually. Graphic organizers can also be used when writing paragraphs or when educators want for students to better express the relationship between two concepts. Here are a few examples of what a graphic organizer can look like in the classroom. Notice how the number of spaces and shapes vary based on the type of organizer. Don't be afraid to get creative when choosing or designing a graphic organizer that will fit the needs of your students. While graphic organizers are versatile, there are a few things to be mindful of when creating and having students use them. Educators must be sure to model how to use these organizers first and be mindful to not overload too many spaces for info, as this could overwhelm students. Take a look at this example of how not to use a graphic organizer. Notice how much text is in the directions. This can become very overwhelming for students, especially students with learning disabilities, and could result in them being short in their responses or not responding appropriately to the task at hand. Lastly, there are too many questions which is a huge don't when it comes to graphic organizers, as this could also overwhelm students.
Finally, all rooms should also include a safe place. Created by Becky Bailey and rooted in conscious discipline research, a safe place is a self-regulation center for students. The safe place has visual steps to help students self-regulate. Students cannot learn if their social-emotional needs are not being met. This is a way to explicitly teach how to self-regulate on your own. The first of these steps is used to figure out what set them off. Are they triggered, upset, or just out of balance? Next, the student can use a breathing technique to calm down. Here we have one of my students using my favorite, the balloon breaths. You put your hands on your head and breathe in to inflate your balloon. As you exhale, deflate your balloon. Next, students should identify how they feel. They gotta name it to tame it. A mirror can be a helpful tool in this place, so students can match their face to the feeling spaces. Finally, students choose how they can make themselves feel better. Some options are talking to a friend, reading a book, drawing a picture, or writing about it. Some safe places also have fidgets. Fidgets provide an alternative sensory input and can be used to help calm down or improve concentration and attention. For those with ADHD or autism, fidgets are extremely helpful, but everyone fidgets every once in a while. To find more information, check out ConsciousDiscipline.com, where you can make a free account and have access to many great resources to help the students in your classroom with their social emotional needs. Thank you for watching, and we hope to hear about or see some of these resources in your classrooms.